HarperCollins presents A Terrible Secret by Cathy Glass, read by Denica Fairman. Chapter 1. Angry and Upset. Lucy was pregnant. It was all I could think about. As an experienced foster carer, I'm used to dealing with other people's problems. Indeed, I pride myself on being rather good at it. However, now faced with a problem of my own, I found I was not as good as I thought. Lucy, my 24-year-old daughter, had arrived home unexpectedly on the 14th of December, when she should have been at work, and announced she was pregnant. 2 weeks later, she and her boyfriend still hadn't decided what they were going to do about it, and I was worried sick. In addition to this worry, I was now waiting for Tilly Watkins to arrive with her social worker. Tilly, aged 14, was upset and angry. Before Christmas, she'd gone to the social services offices and asked to be taken into foster care, claiming that her parents' continuous fighting was making her depressed and she couldn't stand it any longer. I'd been told to expect her, but then she'd changed her mind and had decided to stay at home over Christmas, feeling that the festive season might help sort out their differences. It didn't. Far from helping, it had caused the situation to quickly deteriorate, and this morning, the 28th of December, her neighbours had called the police after hearing an hour of shouting, china smashing, and Tilly and her mother crying. When the police arrived, Tilly had a graze on her cheek and had demanded she be taken into foster care. Her social worker, Issa Neve, had telephoned me half an hour ago to say they were now on their way, so Tilly would be living with me for the foreseeable future. My son, Adrian, 26, was at work, as was Lucy. Adrian worked for a firm of accountants, and Lucy in a nursery. My youngest daughter, Paula, 22, attended a local college, but the new term didn't resume until the following week. She was out shopping at the sales with a friend, so there was just our cat, Sammy, and me at home. I was divorced, my ex having run off with a work colleague many years before. Painful at the time, but history now. Sammy and I were in the living room, which is at the rear of my house. I was sitting on the sofa, gazing through the patio windows to the garden beyond, bare in the heart of winter. Sammy was in his usual spot, curled up asleep by the radiator, and blissfully unaware of the turmoil I was going through. How lovely to be a cat, I thought. Even though I'm a very experienced foster carer, I still get anxious when I'm waiting for a new child or young person to arrive, hoping they will take to me and settle, and wondering how best I can help them. Now my thoughts and worries remained with Lucy, as indeed they were every waking moment and often during the night. No one else in my family knew Lucy was pregnant apart from me. She didn't want anyone to know while she made the difficult decision to terminate the pregnancy or keep the baby. She'd already discounted the other option of having the baby and putting it up for adoption. "I couldn't bear to go through all that and give it up," she'd said tearfully. I'd nodded understandingly and listened. The father of her baby, Darren, was aware of the situation and apparently also thinking what to do for the best. He was the same age as Lucy and a colleague of hers at the nursery where she worked. I'd met him briefly a couple of times, and he seemed nice enough, but they'd only been dating a few months. Lucy told me nothing had been further from their minds than starting a family. They both had careers, and she'd admitted to me she didn't think she was mature enough to parent a child yet, and in some ways I agreed. Although, as most parents know, you mature very quickly once you're responsible for a baby. Lucy and I had had a few long conversations before Christmas, and I'd said I'd support her whatever she and Darren decided, but it had to be their decision. How we managed to get through Christmas I'm not sure, but we did, and had a nice time. "I'm not going to ruin everyone's Christmas," Lucy told me. "I'll make the decision in the new year, on the 1st of January. Which seemed a bit dramatic, but then Lucy
Sample complete. Ready to continue?